Now, we are just a couple weeks away from the anniversary updates, and I'm kind of excited. Still have no idea what will be added, but supposedly it will be a very big patch, so I'm definitely going to be paying close attention to that. Now, today we will be doing some special anomalies. Now, last time I did a high tier Inquisitor was like 2-3 years ago in Catch 22, and ever since then, after Catch collapsed, I really didn't have a lot of options to run these anomalies. Now, since then, a lot of things have changed. The overall loot should be a little bit improved. I mean, I know that the item price, the blueprint price, did change over time. Some blueprints have gained value, some of them have lost value. However, we have received some very nice stuff. Now I think I have the blueprint over here with me. Let me just quickly filter stuff. I just want to show you what we got from one of the previous PvE runs. Now that run wasn't recorded, was a scout anomaly, and I didn't really expect to get anything from a scout anomaly, but I got a offense berserker blueprint, which does allow me to build the drone. I might build it, not really sure what I'll do with the blueprint, since for the Nestor I'm still missing some drones. I plan to use the Nestor for PvP, and in order to use the Nestor for PvP I have to have the most expensive and most powerful drones, just so that I can match the Stratios in, well, not in performance, but to match the Stratios in terms of how the Nestor is built. Now, a little fun fact, recently the price of the Nestor did skyrocket. Actually, the price on all of the Sister Thief ships did go up for whatever reason. Now, not really sure why that's happening, although I have a guess that... Wait a second, where are the... Oh, faction heavy cruisers. They have made a new, I guess, new name for these ships. The status is 2.9 billion, while the battleship, the Nestor, is 9.7 and 11.4, which is interesting. So, not really sure why the price went up, but I guess we will find out very soon. So, with that being said, let's jump in the Inquisitor anomaly. Alright, I am at the acceleration gate. Hopefully no one was running the Inquisitor before I warp in, since my ship is built for sniping. Usually I actually prefer to be at a closer distance, basically to use the blasters, but since right now I don't really have all the modules required, so I just have to stick with what I already have equipped. So we'll be skipping the first room, since the first room doesn't really give much. I'm mostly after the boxes, which are located in the second room. The boxes can drop some very nice stuff, so always nice to get a hold of that. Now the first wave here of these bombers is not that dangerous, since they don't have any webs and scramblers. Same can be said about the first wave in the second room. Now I remember a long time ago, these Inquisitor and Scout special anomalies used to be, I would say, not more difficult, but they used to have more ships, and they used to be more time consuming, and in some cases they actually were, I would say, a bit more dangerous, since the first wave did have very dangerous elite ships that could web and scramble your ship. Now that's not a problem right now, since there seems to be not that many ships. However, I have to proceed with caution. I haven't done one of these in a very long time. Now, since I'm a sniper, my idea and goal here is to basically go and burn to 100 plus kilometers. We'll go at my optimal sniping distance. Now I have about 250 to 200 kilometer optimal range with my current build. I could extend that even more. I could easily get over 250 kilometer range if I do change my build a little bit. But so far this seems to be working real well, so won't have to change anything for now. Okay, and we have already started with that. Now you might remember in the last video I was running a large anomaly, a laboratory mission. It looks like it was this one. So I'll accept the mission, but the video for the special anomaly is already released. So I think I kinda messed up the release schedule, which happens, not a big deal. Now I'm approaching the sun, since that's the safest area to approach at the moment. And I'll be used as a warping for our team members that are currently well, they warped in, but I'll be their warping so that we can all snipe from safety. Okay, still burning away. Now I'm not shooting because the carrier is still not in the sniping position, and just to be safe, all of the ships have to be at a safe distance. Which should, okay, I'm 156 kilometers from the Tempest. 130 kilometers, almost 130 kilometers from the carrier. In order to warp, you have to be at least 150 kilometers away from your teammate. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the anniversary of the game is right around the corner, and recently the developers have kind of released a picture that did raise some questions to what they're doing now. I'll be talking about that a bit more in detail in a different video, since today I wanted to focus on the special anomalies. But I'm not really sure what they will release now, since there are some ships that are in the picture, and I don't really think that those ships will be added now. However, if I were to be 100% honest, I would not be surprised if they just release them. I mean, it kind of does make sense to add them, but it would definitely surprise me. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the new ships in this video, that's going to be the next one, but yeah, this is just something that is on my mind lately. So yeah, the future does seem interesting. We will see what will happen. And also, I'm a little bit sleepy, so might sound a little bit slow because I'm trying to stay awake here, which sometimes might be difficult. So might have to find a topic to talk about for the next like 30 minutes, just so that I don't fall asleep. I have one of my, I would say, kind of fears, although not really a fear, is to fall asleep while live streaming. That's gonna be hilarious, and bound to happen at one point, since I do plan to live stream very soon. Not really sure when. I mean, I'm recording this on a Friday. Yeah, it is Friday right now. Okay, so I don't really know when I will live stream, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but there will be a live stream, and I have no idea what I'll do. Maybe Eve, maybe some War Thunder. I have no idea what I'll do, but should be fun. Now the next wave has spawned, and we are already now all of our ships are now in position, and now we can open fire and basically clear the wave. It should have about 5 waves, and the last wave should bring about 12 ships, which used to be, I feel like the Inquisitor used to have like 24 to 34 ships or something like that. Did feel like a story mission, but I see that they did reduce numbers, or perhaps maybe I haven't done these missions in so long that I kinda forgot what was the case back then. Been a while, actually. Haven't done something like that haven't done an Inquisitor in a very long time. Now there are a couple very fast elite ships that will have to be focused once they spawn. Usually they are frigates, although they can also be battleships. Now, since this is a Angel Inquisitor anomaly, angels are known to be very fast, and they can be quite tricky. So as a sniper, I have to focus down the fastest ships first, since fast ships do represent a threat to snipers. However, I'm at over 160 kilometers away from them, so should not be a big problem to hit them. I focus down the ship that is approaching me the fastest, and then I go basically to the next small ship that is the closest to my ship. Now we have a carrier, we also have a Apocalypse Striker, both very nice ships, so this should not be a big problem. I mean, I think the carrier can easily hit the small targets, so in the end it's not that big of a problem, but just to be safe, I will still be focusing down the small ships first, the fast ships first, and then we'll go to the larger vehicles. Now I can lock about 8 targets, which is enough, I would say. I don't think that there is any battleship that can lock 10 targets. There are super capitals that can do that, but the normal sub capitals have a maximum of 8. Okay, they can lock 8 targets at best, and I'm honestly fine with that. It's not a big problem. I always try to have some room when I lock on the targets, or at least I have the PvP overview up, so that I can see if any target pops in. One of the things that I try to be very careful around is to keep an eye on local. Now I'm flying a Rokh and I am a sniper. If anything warps in, there is a lot of time for me to either shoot the target or warp out. In most cases, since I am very far away from the center of from the warping on the anomaly, I have a good, I would say, good chance, a good shot to destroy the target before they reach me. Although I'm always aligned, so one click on the autopilot and it basically sends me warping to the station. So not a big problem if something does warp in. And of course there is intel and there is local, so plenty of time to react and respond if there is a threat. But so far there has been no threat. The security towards this region is really good, and if there is a fleet on the way, we know like 30 minutes, or even we know like half an hour or more beforehand, so plenty of time to get to safety, or plenty of time to assemble a response fleet. Now I'm working on some new ships. Well, I call them new ships. They're not new. They're not new ships, but I'll have some ships for various different, let's say, scenarios. From roams, ranging from roams for let's say big fleet ops and things like that. After all, I am not going to do all that with one ship. It's always nice to have multiple ships, and you don't want to use your ratting ship for PvP, since if the ratting ship goes down, then you don't have a ship to do ratting with, and that might be a problem. Well, at least you'll be waiting for 12 hours at best, but if you have a good ship replacement program, usually the wait isn't that bad, since most corporations and alliances out there do have that. It's very easy to get a replacement ship. The problem is if you don't have ISK. That's the problem. If you don't have ISK to buy a new ship. But usually if you don't have ISK, you have insurance points, so I guess it's a very nice backup system to have. I call it backup system, but it's always nice to have both options available, although I'm not really a big fan of the insurance, but it can help in some instances. After all, not all ships are easily replaceable. I know carriers and dreadnoughts are very expensive to insure with IP. The faction cruisers and the new navy battleships are also very expensive to insure with IP. It's much cheaper to just buy a new ship if one of these ships do go down. Now Rokh. Now I'm actually quite surprised. When I looked at the price on the Rokh, it used to go for about 1.5 to 2 billion. Now the price of the Rokh dropped to about 800 million. So I haven't really paid much attention to the market on the battleships, and I was kind of surprised to see the price on the ships drop. Now the Rokh is mostly used as a sniper. That's where I got the inspiration to use a Rokh. Initially I wanted to have a Macarial, since I already have good skills with the Macarial, quite familiar with the ship, but I kind of did not want to go with a faction ship immediately after going to a whole new region. I have that, let's say, a rule that I learn the systems, I learn the region, I learn the safe spots, and I also like to learn the more dangerous spots before flying something that is, quite expensive, something that is going to look like a very good kill. So right now a Rokh is, I would say, ideal for the job, since it is cheap, very easy to replace, and it does just get the job right. And of course I like to mention that the Rokh is one of the most heavily tanked battleships, shield tank battleships in the game. Has a very nice bonus on shield resistance, so it does offer some very good defense if it does happen to get itself involved in a unplanned PvP. I call it in a unplanned PvP because this is a PvE build, but it has some PvP applications. Triple webs and a scrambler are there to slow down the tackle ship, so that I have a higher chance to land a hit on, although it will be much easier to land a hit on something if I used blasters. Perhaps I'll do the blaster Rokh next time. For the blasters, I need to change my main weapons to the blasters, to a close range build. I mentioned this before, but I'm actually quite surprised at how fast the Rokh is. I mean, I knew that the Rokh isn't that slow, but I did not expect my Rokh to be decently fast. I actually thought that it might go about 650, 700 meters per second, but I got pleasantly surprised to see that it was going more than that. I mean, it does have some very nice rigs, although I'm not really sure if the rigs are built for speed. I think they're not built for speed. I kind of forgot what rigs I have on this ship. Wasn't originally my ship. I got the ship from a corp member, from a corp mate. So I kind of forgot. I think it has like a fusion between range, DPS, and shield in the combat rigs, and then it has, I think, capacitor rigs, since the Rokh can easily pull a very nice active tank. If I go and change the build, well, when I go and change my build to a blaster Rokh, I'll definitely use a active shield tank, since you can't really passive tank. I mean, you could technically passive tank, but if the shield regeneration is enhanced or buffed, then I would most definitely go with a passive shield tank, because that would be very easy on the capacitor, and it's not going to be, you know, that much of a problem capacitor wise. After all, you know that the shield boosters do eat a lot of capacitor. Now we are going to the next Inquisitor site. Now, remember when I said that I hoped that no one did attempt to clear one, and then they just left like all the elite ships hanging there? Well, that's what's going to happen in the next Inquisitor. There was an Abaddon. I don't know which, I don't know whose Abaddon it was, but I know that there was an Abaddon that warped out from the Inquisitor. Not really sure what happened. Perhaps they had a phone call, perhaps you know, they had low capacitor or something similar, but they were inside and they left, leaving a bunch of nasty elites inside. Now, while I was jumping, I didn't know that. I got to know that when I landed in the anomaly. Now, our carrier is close by. The Apocalypse Striker is also close by, but the Apocalypse will not warp, since the Apocalypse isn't as tanky as the Rokh. So if the Apocalypse warps in, by the time the carrier lands, the Apocalypse might die. So for now, if someone takes the aggro, it will be me, since the Rokh can take some hits, not a lot of hits, but it can take some hits even with a build like this. So I'm trying to burn out, but I did not see that tackle destroyer, and I have been webbed and I have been scrambled. Now, I managed to nail the Hound once, but okay, the Hound is killed. Now I'll try to nail the destroyer. Now, since I don't have stabs on this thing, I can't just warp out. So at the moment I am stuck with the Thrasher. And that angel bomber is also looking a little bit suspicious. I don't like it. Oh, well, that explains it. Two scrambles now. Lovely. What could possibly go wrong? No active tank? No beefy passive tank? And I have two scramblers on me. Now I might be in trouble now. No, I'm slowly killing that that destroyer. It is slowly going down, but that bomber will be a problem. Since as you can see, the bomber is orbiting at 14 kilometers, and my webs are only 13.6 kilometers, so 13.8, my apologies. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill that bomber. Although thankfully, I think the carrier jumped in, or who actually warped in? Oh yeah, the carrier warped. Okay. The carrier warped in, and the carrier immediately took aggro. Now I'm at 24% shield, so the passive tank did kind of do its job, although this was a very risky maneuver. And if I were alone, I would probably be dead. Although there is plenty of blues in local that could have helped. So not really doomed in the way that I would definitely be dead, but a high probability if there was no support that I would be dead. Now, not really sure who piloted that Abaddon that was inside, but yeah. Next time, please clear the elites. Clear the elites before warping out. Just kidding. Was a joke. This is why you don't use snipers for the Inquisitors, because in some instances someone might have already done and warped off from third or fourth wave, and the waves can be quite dangerous. So a close range battleship, or a battlecruiser, would get the job done quite easily. I was lucky. Well, I wasn't really lucky. I knew that there was a chance of this happening, and I kind of expected it to happen. Although I expected it to happen when I am alone. Did not expect it to happen when I have support. So I guess that's one thing that I kind of didn't see coming. Now I usually expect the worst outcome based on my experience of the worst outcome usually being the right one, or usually being the one that's happening, at least to me. So that's usually how I go with things. But today I guess it's not going to be one of those days, I guess. But still, left at 23% shield with no tank. That is quite a risky maneuver. Now, speaking of risky maneuvers, I really do hope that the passive shield recharge does get a significant buff on a lot of ships. I feel like passive tanking is fun, but passive tanking would be much more fun if the passive regeneration rate of the shield was enhanced. Now, they can actually add and release new skills for starters that does significantly improve the recharge on the various ships. Could be a single skill that's going to help all ships, or it could be multiple skills separated by ship classes, or I guess ship size, ranging from frigates to supercarriers or supercapitals. Actually, hold a second. Nope. Let's not give supercarriers or supercapitals more passive recharge. I almost forgot that these things have an insane amount of passive regeneration rate on the shield. I mean, if you have seen my previous supercarrier videos, you know what I'm talking about. You can tank those things through the roof, and theoretically, what I got by doing a lot of math, I got about maybe around 200,000 DPS, being able to you can technically passively tank 200,000 DPS on the Wyvern on a maximum shield recharge at about 25% shield. Of course, that is with some specific integrations, with a build that specifically targets shield volume and shield regeneration, as well as shield resistance. You can't really do that on any other ship class in the game right now. It's only, at least for now, exclusive to Super Capitals. I know a lot of my friends already have Super Capitals. I have some very interesting friends, I know, but I helped a lot of them to build their ship, and I'm actually very surprised at, well, actually I say surprised, not really surprised. If you guys knew how many Super Capitals are technically being built in secrecy, it would be kinda shocking, I guess. Now, I know that there is this event going on, so you might be wondering, well, how are they building these ships in total secrecy, since you have the event where it kind of counts how many Super Capitals you built. Well, let's say there's a way how you can create Super Capitals without leaving a mark on the leaderboard. And I guess that's one way to secretly build stuff. I'm not going to say how, of course, but it's a very interesting and a very creative way that's not breaking any rules. It's all within the game, by the way. No bugs being used or similar. Well within the game's mechanics, and I actually find that quite interesting, since I think I thought about doing something similar with one of the previous events where I think they counted, what was it, like, I think it was implant level or something like that, where they calculated how much implant level the whole corporation has combined. We kind of did, we thought to do the same trick, although in the end we didn't, since none of us actually had time, and we did not want to, I think at the time we weren't really interested in it, because it wasn't something that was attractive for us at the time. But I think it's about the same trick that's being used now. Now, of course, it is not the same as blowing up your corporation ships just to get extra score. That's something else. Players were banned for that because it was kind of evil, to be honest, and kind of cheating. But this with Super Capitals, it's a bit different, and there is no way to actually increase the score. And if you want to build something in total secrecy, you definitely do not want a leaderboard to show you, to scream basically, oh, I have 20 Super Capitals at my disposal. Basically gives free intel to your enemies. So yeah, I wouldn't be trusting the leaderboard now, since there are ways to build Super Capitals without actually, showing it on the leaderboard. And I believe it will be done, the same thing will be done when Titans are out, although at this moment it is confirmed that Titans are not going to be released on August. I mean, it is obvious, like that's not going to happen on August, so yeah. Happy and kind of sad. Actually, I am more happy than sad, because it will take a while for me to get to a Titan, but it will definitely get a lot less time for me to get to anything to whatever they'll be releasing on the anniversary update. I have some information about it, but again, non-disclosure agreement, can't really talk about it. So yeah, when the official announcement is out, which might happen actually very soon, I'll open the floodgates to everything I know. But for now I have to wait. Just to, out of respect, I don't want to leak anything before time. I think it's leaking stuff is something that's, you know, it's just not okay, since they say lead by an example, and since I know some purples out there like to leak stuff the second something is out, it's already leaked. I'm not like that. I do have respect for what I do, and I do have respect for the whole community, so out of respect, I'm not going to break any non-disclosure agreement. But it's interesting. I mean, definitely interesting stuff up ahead. So yeah. So that was very the second run, the second Inquisitor run here was quite risky. Oh man. Now when I think about it, yeah, kind of a close call, but not too much, but still very risky to just warp into an Inquisitor like that with a sniper. Don't do this, by the way. Always have a scout, and if there is no elite ships on grid, then you can easily go and warp in with a sniper. But if there are elite ships on the grid, then swap to a close range build, or kill the elites first and then warp with snipers to clear out the mission. Alright, well, that was a very nice run. Haven't done a special site in a very long time. Actually surprised that everything went as smoothly as it did. Was honestly fun. Awesome support from my friends, awesome support from the Alliance. They are, as I like to say, they have been dominating, and it's been a pleasure to fly with them so far. Honestly, a very, very fun and very fun experience. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, play safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.